Trump is naming a new chief of staff, and RFK Jr. is looking to overhaul the FDA. All right, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping.
Donald Trump has made his first major decision as president-elect, naming Susie Wiles as his White House chief of staff. In a statement, the president-elect wrote, quote, "Susie Wiles just helped me achieve one of the greatest political victories in American history and was an integral part of both my 2016 and 2020 successful campaigns. Susie is tough, smart, innovative, and is universally admired and respected. It is a well-deserved honor to have Susie as the first ever female chief of staff in United States history. I have no doubt that she will make our country proud."
Susie also served as an advisor to Tudor Dixon's gubernatorial campaign, and Tudor joins us now. Good morning to you. So Susie Wiles is someone who is rarely seen in the media, but she has made a huge impact when it comes to Republican politics. So tell us a little bit more about her and how she'll serve Donald Trump as White House chief of staff.
Well, she's rarely seen because she has no ego. She is an amazing woman. She is a perfect combination of talent and toughness. She does not let any shenanigans go on around her, but she also understands how to take care of her boss. She doesn't try to control him. She was the originator of let Trump be Trump, and that was the most effective strategy she could possibly have. She did not shy away from long form interviews. She didn't shy away from the McDonald's experience, the garbage man experience. She knew that.
Hey, somebody time out Party Academy. No spam in the chat. No spam in the chat. Let's continue.
Trump had this innate way of meeting people where they are and reaching people, and she embraced that. But she also doesn't let people do anything around him. In the first term, we saw a lot of leakers. We saw a lot of shenanigans in the White House. That's not going to happen with Susie Wiles because, like I said, she's not only tough, she's talented, and people respect her. Last night when I heard this, my phone blew up. People were just overwhelmed with excitement to see this historic pick. They know she's going to be incredible at this job, and she's a winner.
Are you concerned in any way about her lack of time in D.C.? Admittedly, she did spend some time in D.C., but it was 1979, 1980, and obviously she's been back and handling stuff in the political world. But she really is an on-the-ground operative at this point. So are you concerned that her lack of D.C. experience will hurt?
What a blessing to not have some experience with the people in the swamp trying to bend your ear. She's going to go in there and they're afraid of her. That's the best part about this. This is a woman who just ran a Fortune 500 company overnight, and she was incredibly successful at it. This is the best case scenario for the United States of America. We don't want someone going in there that has already made deals with people, that has loyalties to people. Susie Wiles is going in there for the American people, and that's the most exciting news I could ever possibly hear about this administration.
Yeah.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I am incredibly excited about the fact that there are people that are a part of this administration that is anti-establishment. They are not lifetime politicians. They are business people. They looking to do the thing that's in the best interest of the United States of America. I don't want people that's already a part of the establishment in the establishment anymore. That's the whole idea behind draining the swamp. That's the whole idea behind Trump becoming president of the United States of America. I loved her strategy and let Trump be Trump. But more importantly, I think this also sends a message to women. This sends a message to the left. They are so far out of touch that they have no clue what's really going on around them. They don't have no sense of what's going on with the people. And people like authenticity. They like for you to tell them the truth. They don't want you to try to sell them a lie. They don't want you to try to get a bunch of celebrities in order to endorse them and stuff like that. She said, look, let him be what he gonna be and let the people really see what he really about. And the people voted and they decided that they wanted him in office. More importantly, I thought he was misogynist. I thought he was a misogynist. I thought he was misogynistic. Nobody is afraid of strong women being around us. As a matter of fact, we love it. Smart men love incredible women. And we see you for more than just being a woman. But we also acknowledge the fact that you can leverage things that we don't know or things that we can't experience in order to get more out of us. or more out of a situation. The majority of people that work for me, overwhelmingly 80% of everybody that works for me are women. 80% of everybody that works for me, outside of the construction industry, outside of building homes, all of those guys are men, but a lot of those people that's running the companies are women. And so nobody is ever misogynistic. Listen, we think from a business perspective, we are about results. The reason why the identity politics campaign did not succeed in this election is because when the rubber meets the road, to select somebody based off of affirmative action, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and identity politics is not only the wrong decision, but it's bad for your pocketbooks. If a woman is in a position to put you in the best position possible, get there. Get there. And this is what Trump is showing you. We don't care about identity politics. We care about the person. Think about this for a minute. The first person that he implemented in his administration is a woman. The person that he entrusted to ultimately get him to the White House again was a woman. How can you be a misogynist? How can you be a fascist? How can you be all of these things that they tried to paint him out to do when the very people that he deployed, the Lord Trumps, in order to get him there was women?
You know, it will be very interesting to see Donald Trump fill out his cabinet and who he selects for these key positions. In 2016, there were a lot of people who he says did not serve him well. We saw it unfold in a pretty dramatic way. But then you have tweets from a Democrat Congressman, Jared Moskowitz out of Florida, said, "Congrats to Susie Wild. I worked with her in the DeSantis administration. She is brilliant, tough, strategic. She will serve our country well." That's coming from a Democrat. So with selections like this, does it indicate that there will be less drama when it comes to staffing around Donald Trump during his next administration?
Absolutely. We are all so excited about what's going on in this next administration. It will be the most historic administration in the history of the country. I know that he is bringing together an amazing team. Susie is going to help him with that. Susie, I just have to tell, my personal experience with her is that she is always available, always willing to sit down with you, always willing to go through every scenario with you and help you play out what is the best thing you can do for yourself and for the people. This is going to be the most amazing administration that the country has ever seen because of the combination of Donald Trump, Susie Wiles, and J.D. Vance. I could not tell you anything about this other than you are going to be amazed and overwhelmed by what's.
But here's the thing. Let me tell you how incredible this cabinet is. And I've always been championing the fact that the Republican Party in this cabinet got a bullpen. They got people lined up that's going to kick butt and take names, which is one of the reasons why Kamala Harris lost this campaign, is because people were asking her, hey, why would you do anything? What would you do different than the current administration? And she was like, well, I'm a different person. Yeah, but you're the same person that was just in the White House a second ago, right? Donald Trump made some incredible picks. And one of the most incredible picks that he made, and shout out to my girl Carrie last night because she is excited about this. One of the most incredible picks that he's also made is RFK Jr. And what is RFK Jr. doing? RFK Jr. is attacking a system. And this is the real definition of a systematic oppression. I wouldn't even say oppression, but I don't even know what you would put the word in afterwards. Systematic something. Our food. And RFK Jr. was a person that is a proponent of changing the way that we eat and removing the poison that is happening in our food system. And a lot of people that have never been outside of the country, they don't even know what it's like to taste food that don't have all of these chemicals in it. They don't know what it's like to actually have your children grow up without all of these growth hormones in it. They don't know what it's like to not be poisoned from the inception and from the beginning of your pregnancy. And so he put in people that was part of an independent party and brought in the best and the brightest and the ones that's the most passionate about what it is that we got putting into our bodies. And RFK Jr. is doing exactly what Trump said that he should do, and to come in and clear out the entire departments and build it from the ground up of the FDA. Check it out.
With the White House secured, President-elect Trump is ready to enact his Make America Healthy Again agenda. RFK Jr. says it's time to clear out entire departments in the FDA. But what exactly does that look like? Here with reaction, Fox News senior medical analyst Dr. Mark Siegel. Dr. Siegel, thanks for being with us. What would that look like? What does he want to clean out?
Well, it sounds like he's focusing mainly, at least to begin with, on the food part of FDA. Remember, FDA is Food Drug Administration.
Right.
Now, with food, it's a mess. I mean, we're talking about 75% of the stuff in supermarkets is ultra-processed foods. You know what an ultra-processed food is? It can't remember what soil it came from. It can't remember what farm it was grown on.
If women really cared about women, then they would be advocating for RFK Jr. like Kerry Spencer was. When Kerry was saying, listen, we need to pay attention to what they feeding us. We need to pay attention to what they putting inside of your bodies. If women cared about what was best for women, then they would vote for Trump, which they overwhelmingly did, but they wouldn't even be on this hate train of Trump because Trump is putting into place the things that's going to be best for your children. You want to know what's best for your children? What they got in your school lunches. You want to know what's best for your children? This education system that's corrupt that needs to be reformed. You want to know what's best for your children? Fixing this food that y'all putting inside of y'all bodies, that y'all passing on to y'all children, and all of these chemicals that's now being put. See, it's so many things working against y'all, and y'all focus on the wrong, stupid thing. You focus on something that you can control yourself, but you're not focused on the thing that's best for you.
It's been so chemicalized that it doesn't have any connection to the original food it was. And it's why we have an obesity epidemic in this country. 40% of Americans are obese, leads to all kinds of diseases that I treat. Heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, heart attacks, and yes, even cancer, multiple cancers. So that's a good place to start because we're spending $4 trillion on our healthcare in this country. It's a sick care system, not a healthcare system. And the FDA, and one more point about this, they're also in charge of outbreaks, Ainsley. We have over 1,700 multi-state outbreaks of foodborne illness. 48 million Americans are getting sick from the food they eat every year, and that's also under FDA's umbrella.
And I believe that A, is a form of population control. That's number one. And then B, I also think that it's profitable for the food manufacturers. That's number two. And C, I think that the FDA is corrupt. That's number three. And then D, here's the most important part. It's profitable to keep you in the hospital and sick. And so instead of us being proactive as to why we continue to need to be in the hospital and spend so much money on healthcare, we sitting there talking about a universal healthcare system that's profiting off of keeping you and fixing the symptoms or treating the symptoms and not actually getting to the source of why we messed up in the first place. It's people that go to other countries and get healthy and come back here and be like, dang, I ain't even realized how bad the food is. We never want to get to the source and fix what's wrong with us proactively. We spend so much money on cancer treatment, so much money on symptom treatment, so much money on going to the hospital instead of spending our resources and our monies to prevent us from being sick in the first place. Y'all letting them poison y'all for profit. Finally, you got some people that's outside of the establishment to go into these places, and y'all are so afraid. Oh my God, they're going to break down the system that's been keeping us depressed, sick, and broke for all of these years. Finally, you got an opportunity. First time in your life, you got an opportunity to do something different, and y'all sitting there talking about, oh my God, they're going to take away our rights. No, they're going to free you. They're going to free you from this system that's keeping you broke, depressed, sick, and toe up, and with cancer.
They're very, very limp in that area.
When we were interviewing RFK Jr., he said some things that were pretty shocking, like French fries at McDonald's, maybe made with 3 ingredients in Europe, but here made with, I don't remember the number, but 10, 20 ingredients that aren't healthy for you. Fruit Loops, different dyes, he said, are in our cereal, but the same cereal made in Europe is not allowed to use those products. So why? This is America. Why are we allowed to put these products that are illegal in Europe? And you go to Europe and you eat clean and you feel great after you eat pasta and pizza. You don't gain any weight. But here, why are we allowed to put those terrible chemicals in our food that our children are eating?
It's simple. We shouldn't be. And I just told you, I just returned from Europe. I could actually eat pasta and dessert again, and I didn't gain a pound there because.
And your taste buds, your palate, it changes, it adjusts. You don't get all of these super full of sugar and GMOs and HMOs and HEAU and ho-hos. You get to actually enjoy your food, not be sick, don't have to go and take a bunch of pills at the end of the night in order for you to sleep. Don't be up running back and forth to the bathroom all day long, and then you toe up, and then your babies is coming out with 4 eyes all at the same time, and they look like an alien. You can finally breathe.
Because it doesn't have those ingredients you're talking about. Canada also doesn't have it. Fruit Loops here in the United States, multiple chemicals, and as RFK Jr. says, in Canada, 2 or 3 ingredients. We don't police the amount of chemicals in our foods. They also interfere with fertility. That's one I didn't mention.
Right.
And when you become obese, you get diabetes a lot of the time. Then you have other multiple problems.
Yeah.
Now, he has a history as a social reformer, environmental activist. That's his background. So I'm very interested in his approach towards the food we eat.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I think that this is a win on every front. On every front, what I see happening in this administration is a win so far. And I'm going to be objective. I'm going to call out the BS. When I see something that I don't agree with, I am going to address it and I'm going to call it out. And I'm going to say where it's wrong. But as of right now, 3 days into president-elect, I don't see anything wrong with any of the appointments that he's putting up. I think that his chief of staff is awesome. I think that RFK addressing the FDA concerns is awesome. And we just going to play it by ear from there. And again, I don't censor anybody here. So if anybody in the chat feels differently, if y'all think that I get it wrong, feel free to call me out. And we're going to have a conversation about it and bring me to the front of the congregation. As of right now, I think that this is a win for the people. As of right now, no, don't hit me with that, Eric D. No, I just literally gave y'all permission to call me out. And Eric D is already approaching this with cynicism because his candidate lost. Eric D, get it together. I am always open to the possibility that I'm wrong, and I believe that I'm not above reproach. So bring me to the front of the congregation if you see it's wrong. But as of right now, these 2 picks are absolutely awesome.